Right, welcome everyone. Welcome to the Quantum Enlightenment series. Welcome. So, doing the lessons of A Course in Miracles is what we practice here. And so we're going to get started right away because it is really interesting today to take another look at what is occurring with the doing the lessons, but also looking at this world a little bit. This world in the sense of new developments in science, specifically the neuroscience connected to this world. And so I'm going to tell more about it in a moment. But here we are. We have the daily lessons. Today is day 19. So that means lesson 19. And there is someone who is like reading this every day to you. And you can receive that by going to the website or by going to the YouTube channel, EV Hub. And you can listen to it. What incredible. And even on Instagram it is too. So that you can easily remember the lesson of today.
A Course in Miracles workbook lesson number 19. I am not alone in experiencing the effects of my thoughts. The idea for today is obviously the reason why your seeing does not affect you alone. You will notice that at times the ideas related to thinking precede those related to perceiving, while at other times the order is reversed. The reason is that the order does not actually matter. Thinking and its results are really simultaneous, for cause and effect are not separate. Today, we are again emphasizing the fact that minds are joined. This is rarely a wholly welcome idea at first, since it seems to carry with it an enormous sense of responsibility and may even be regarded as an invasion of privacy. Yet, it is a fact that there are no private thoughts. Despite your initial resistance to this idea, you will yet understand that it must be true if salvation is possible at all. And salvation must be possible because it is the will of God. The minute or so of mind searching which today's exercises require is to be undertaken with eyes closed. The idea is to be repeated first, and then the mind should be carefully searched for the thoughts which it contains at that time. As you consider each one, name it first in terms of the central person or theme which it contains. And holding it in mind as you do so, say, I am not alone in experiencing the effects of this thought about blank. The requirement of as much indiscriminateness as possible in selecting subjects for the practice period should be quite familiar to you now, and will no longer be repeated each day, although it will occasionally be included as a reminder. Do not forget, however, that random selection of subjects for all practice periods remained essential throughout. Lack of order is in this connection will ultimately make the recognition of lack of order in miracles meaningful to you. Apart from the as-needed application of the idea for today, at least 3 practice periods are required, shortening the length of time involved if necessary. Do not attempt more than 4.
So this is about the mind searching. So today again emphasizing the fact that minds are joined, like our minds are joined. This is rarely a whole welcome idea at first, but since it seems to carry with it an enormous sense of responsibility and can even be regarded as an invasion of privacy, The minute or so of mind searching which today's exercises require is to be undertaken with the eyes closed. So let's do that first. And what are you looking at? The thoughts that you are thinking. The idea for today is to be repeated first, and then the mind should be carefully searched for the thoughts it contains at that time. So the idea is, I'm not alone in experiencing the effects of my thoughts. As you consider each of these thoughts, name it in terms of the central person or theme it contains, and then holding it in your mind as you do so, say, I'm not alone in experiencing the effects of this thought about this or that one, or this or that situation, or this or that person. So let's take a moment to mind search with the eyes closed. Repeat the idea first. I'm not alone in experiencing the thoughts, the effects of my thoughts. So that was lesson 19. And now you repeat this a couple of times a day. And not for more than a minute or so, and not more than 4 times. So this is really interesting. So the invasion of privacy, that's a bit like, imagine that everyone could think what you think, or could see what you are thinking, or could experience the effects of what you are thinking. Imagine that. Well, that is the case. So that is so amazing in this lesson. It actually says it. It's like, you have no private thoughts. There's no such thing as private thoughts. All thoughts have power. Like, they either make a real world or they make an illusion. They extend love or they contract in fear. But it has always an effect. So this is interesting. We're going to take a look now at, in fact, our goal is to come to Christ vision, to see beyond what we see with our eyes. And now that's an interesting idea, and it came to me, this idea of new developments in neuroscience. And you could say, like, what does that have to do with the lessons? Well, not so much. But still it's interesting to take a look at it, because it attracts so much attention in the world, and it is so high-tech, so to speak. Well, if you really take a good look at it, it is not necessarily that high-tech. For in worldly measures, yes, it is. But if you look beyond the world, which is in that sense not so hard, then you see that your eyes, what is it that you see? Like, you're not alone in experiencing the effects of what you are seeing, because the thought is first, what you see is next. So if your thoughts are meaningless and you bring it out in the open and you see something reflected, it is still a reflection of your thoughts. So that is not that new. It is still meaningless, and it's still, in fact, not a part of creation. In other words, you caught yourself in the middle of an illusion. You see with your eyes what isn't. You see with your eyes in terms of contrast, in terms of duality, and all this. Like, this is what you see. It's a world of mesmerism. We looked at that yesterday too. So now this development in neuroscience and in top of the pops investments in this world is in the idea of, what if you could hook up a system connected to your brain that can literally replace, for instance, your eyes, but still give you the information, or that your thinking can start adjusting things, like that it could, for instance, that you could use it to let machines do things. For instance, your car, you could say like, I want to go left here, but then in the way that you see it in front of you, and the car would go left or right. So this develops and develops and develops. And so now it's that far that they call it the project Blindsight, that there's a center, like a video camera that is registering things, that is connected to someone's brain who cannot see, but is able through an interface to let it be translated into neural signals so that you can actually see without using eyes. Now that's an amazing thing that you can come up with that and actually make it work. So that works for some time. And so there's more development. So motoric, like people who can't move, actually are able to do things with their thoughts by making little adjustments or moving a cursor over a screen so that they can at least share what they want, for instance. Now this is all new technology that is developing very, very quick, because it seems to be great and useful. And now I don't want to take anything away of that, of course. It's like that's not my purpose of sharing it. It is just, it's interesting. It's like we are practicing the undoing of what we see and taking the undoing of what we see to come in touch with reality. Now this is where I'm talking about, like the Blindsight project or the Neuralink business, you could say. It is made for operating in this world, and in that sense it works. Like it will work or not, it doesn't really matter in that sense, but it is still operating in a world that has no reality, a world made of differences. Now here's always the interesting thing. You could say like, well, now you don't have to develop all that, because here's the answer. If I would tell whoever's the owner, everyone knows who the owner is of Neuralink, maybe not. Well, anyway, so there's one guy. If I would tell him, listen, you don't have to do this, because something came to me. I discovered something, and that's this. My eyes don't see anything. Whether I hook it up to a camera or not, like it's still nothing, because the way that I'm seeing is locked in a limited system called the human thinking, the human frame of reference. Within that system, it is always limited. It will never give me, in fact, like if you would look at it like that, it will never give me what I want. And it makes me desperate in the end. I will keep looking for what I truly want. I will come to it. And of course that's going to happen through this path too, like through the path of developing all kinds of neurological systems related to human machines, to machines, in fact, the link of human to machines. Like you can do it that way too, but that would be an incredible detour. The same as that you think that you have to go to Mars with one kind of rocket and start to make a little eye glow there to come and live in a time frame. For what? Yeah, so what is the reason that this is developing? Well, it is like you want, in fact, the human thinking is, to a certain extent, sitting on the throne of God, you could say, making themselves, literally making copies of themselves, whether that's in thinking, whether that's in technology, whether that's in digital development. Like it becomes a copy of itself. Now, I'm going to give one more example. Like if you read, we just read this in this lesson, like this is on day 19. Look at this, day 19. Like this is ultra high tech in that sense. On day 19, you hear that minds are joined. When minds are joined, that means they are able to communicate directly with one another, just like I'm doing right now. Not with the words that I'm saying. I could stop talking and still be in communication with you. We don't need words for that necessarily. So now we step up to Christ vision. Like minds communicate because they are one. They're not separate minds. There's only one mind, and that is yours. When you open your mind to go beyond the incredible inventions of space and time, in space and time, you immediately fall into a communication that would make you like see that it's complete fulfillment that is given because it communicates directly, just by the grace of you recognizing there are no separate minds. There's only one mind, and it's right here. It's like it's communicating. It has always communicated, and in fact, deep down, you know that is true. You know that you're connected with everyone through mind, in consciousness, you could say. Now, in fact, this is what this mind training is for, to bring us back to the recognition. Minds are joined. We're practicing it. I'm not alone in experiencing the effects of my seeing. When I'm healed, I'm not healed alone. If I accept this, what is given, if I accept this for myself, if I accept what is given in this instant, recognizing that my mind is joined with yours, and that there's only one mind, and that we're communicating perfectly with every aspect of creation, then it would blow open your mind, and you would never doubt it ever again that that's the case. So that is the beauty of what we're actually trying to do here, of what we are training our minds to, is to become still and receptive for that, what already is. If I keep inventing new things, I keep distracting myself from what is actually occurring already. Why do I need a smartphone? Because I think somebody is somewhere else. Well, if minds communicate, that isn't the case. If there's only one consciousness, that is not the case. So there are ways for you to learn to communicate directly with every aspect of creation. In fact, it is becoming so still that you see that that's already the case. Now this is Christ vision. Like the practicality of it comes with lots of specifics, you could say. Forgive 70 times 7. Like forgive your brother, because you start to recognize that he is one with you. And we will see that in the 60s lessons. Like forgiveness is my function, is the light of the world. I am the light of the world. How holy am I? Holy is also being whole, being in communication with every aspect. What is then so difficult to forgive? Why would it be so difficult to forgive if you only forgive yourself from thinking you are separate from your brother, while that isn't so, and while you deeply down actually know that? And the guilt that might be stirred up, that you suddenly feel, you try to defend and say like, no, I'm separate from you, or whatever your idea is. Like, why would you introduce an idea of guilt into this system? Only because you already know something else. That's why you use this to separate yourself off. So that is paradoxical, what I'm saying. It's like that's pretty amazing. Like you step right into the defense. So why would you be afraid that anyone sees your thoughts if you're completely yourself and connected to everything? Like you think there's an alien thought somewhere that can come into your mind and doesn't have to do with anyone else? That would literally be impossible. So I love this. So this Neuralink idea, you see the applications for it would only be to become more developed than your brother, so you can use it against your brother or not. Yeah, it can be very helpful too. It's like, okay, people that are not able to see suddenly can see. Well, and that looks great. Like if you have a moment, take a look at it, because you see that people start to recognize, to see their loved ones. After a long time they didn't see them, and now they see them. They have a video. It's not optimal yet, but suddenly they have an image of their loved ones. Or suddenly they can move certain things. They can become a little bit more autonomous. Well, that is wonderful. That is great. That is wonderful. Temporarily it is. So, like I said, I'm not taking anything away from it. It is just interesting to share here. You can say, like, developing a way to see. We're developing a way to see. We're actually coming into the recognition of what seeing is. Well, the images are not going to tell you anything about that. So beyond the images, you can see. The other part is sight. That's different. Like, sight is what you see with your eyes, but that has nothing to do with seeing. So yeah, that's what I love to share, just as an illustration of how this is so complete and whole, what is given. And so you don't have to do anything for it, because it is already yours. In fact, you can say, like, stop denying it, stop denying that it isn't so, and you will see that it is so. It's inherent in every one of us, of course. That was happening probably like 25 years ago. I was just for a couple of years doing the mind training of A Course in Miracles, and I was in somewhere in Germany in the center, and I met someone who was blind, like he could not see with his eyes, but he had A Course in Miracles too. He did the mind training, so he had A Course in Miracles in Braille, and it was like a big a truckload of books to do the lessons. So he would have everything in Braille. But the most astonishing part was to sit next to him and actually directly communicate with him. Like he was doing the exercises, and but he was in communication. So sitting next to him, you would recognize, wow, we're just in a holy instant. Like, this is absolutely fantastic. I don't need to see you to be in a love communication with you beyond all of this. Like, none of that was... I don't need my eyes for that. I only need my recognition for it. And that was astonishing. So he was such a bright man, like such a bright light. It was so great to meet him. And so just wonderful. You see, like, you don't need your eyes for this. You don't need your eyes to be whole and perfect as you were created. Now, there's nothing to do with it. In other words, all limitations that you have imposed upon yourself are no excuse to be in full communication, because you are in full communication. Now, still down your concepts. Just go through the first 50 lessons and practice well. Like, I'm not alone in experiencing the effects of my thoughts. No, you're not alone in anything. And that's so beautiful. So anyway, I wanted to share that. All right, so Blindsight, Neuralink's Blindsight Project and beyond, aims to restore sight by bypassing the eyes and the optic nerve entirely, streaming video data directly into the visual cortex. But that's not all. This neurodigital engineering has its program aimed at expanding the research to optimize the man-machine connection by eventually being able to make a digital connection to the whole brain for download and upload possibilities. That will open many possibilities to manipulate in the realm, this is in the realm of meaninglessness. So what happens when vision skips the eyes? Yeah. So vision here is used as sight, but actually it's not vision, it's not Christ vision. So it's like that's not going to happen with any kind of technology. That's not necessary because it is already perfect. I don't know who that guy is on the photo, but Neuralink's Blindsight Project. Neuralink's primarily medical goal, for now, restoring sight to the blind or movement to the paralyzed, is a literal technological correction of perception. It fixes the error in the neural pathway so that the mind can interface with the world as it intends. Neuralink's Blindsight Project. Blindsight could eventually allow humans to see in infrared, ultraviolet and radar wavelengths, normally invisible to the human eye, to expand the bandwidth of the physical world so we could see more of its data. And why not expand the research, not just stay focused on sight? Why not? Because, okay, so here, Course in Miracles, vision does not require physical eyes. It is an inner seeing or true perception that looks past the physical form to see the light of holiness or the spark of beauty in everything. Here it says in lesson 20, your decision to see is all that vision requires. What you want is yours. Do not mistake the little effort that is asked of you for an indication that our goal is of little worth. Can the salvation of the world be a trivial purpose? And can the world be saved if you are not? God has one Son, and He is the resurrection and the life. His will is done because all power is given Him in heaven and earth. In your determination to see is vision given you. So this is lesson 20, the last paragraph. So we're not there yet. So I'm heading over to 13 and read this. A meaningless world engenders fear. The totally insane engenders fear because it is completely undependable and offers no grounds for trust. Nothing in madness is dependable. It holds out no safety and no hope. But such a world is not real. I have given it the illusion of reality and have suffered from my belief in it. Now I choose to withdraw this belief and place my trust in reality. In choosing this, I will escape all the effects of the world of fear, because I'm acknowledging that it does not exist. So that is the review lesson of lesson 13. This is where we left off last week. So I want to bring that in because of the way to see it is like this world has no reality. It's of my own making and it does not exist. So whatever I invent in it, however I keep myself occupied in it, it will not change anything. Like that is the thing here. So by doing these lessons, I come to the place where I recognize who I truly am. In that is all my fulfillment. So that brings us back to that idea all the time. Whatever the lesson is, it is not to make this world real. It is not to make great inventions in this world. And so you can say, like, if I do the lessons and I suddenly have a good idea, I should start selling it in the world. Like many did that. A lot of people do that. But then what do you have? You're gonna you're gonna literally bring in a bright idea to sell it or to develop yourself in it or something. Like, that would be a delay in a certain sense. Why not? So if you receive this message, if you let this really sink in for yourself, if you really come into the practice of releasing this world, you actually start to release everyone in it too. Now, why not share that with your brother? Because you're not alone in the effects of your thoughts, of your seeing. You're not alone in it. And so this brings us back to the mission of Jesus. Well, Jesus says, I have no mission other than the one that is given me by God. Now God is everything, like God is the wholeness of my beingness. And in that is, if I'm that, I extend that. If I recognize that as my true identity, I extend that. That is what I represent. There's nothing else to do. So this is what I mean. It's like all the little things that you can come up with to, in fact, step into a detour will cause fear, will cause anxiety, will cause pain, will cause all these things, because literally you step into the world, you make something else real for yourself, and you start to believe it's reality. You start to believe that this world is real, and there you have it. There are the effects of it too. So all healing lies in the idea of the recognition where you truly abide, that you are literally in God, whole and perfect, that your mind is in perfect communication with every aspect of creation. Like, there's no need to deny it any longer. There's also no need to defend yourself or to save certain places in your mind and not hand it over to Spirit, for Spirit to take a look at it, for Spirit to let it be transformed for you, in order for you to become free. Because that is still what you are looking for, to experience the total freedom of your beingness. And that can only be in total transparency, in total handing over what isn't, and allowing Spirit to transform it in something useful for everyone involved. God did not create a meaningless world. How can a meaningless world exist if God did not create it? He is the source of all meaning, and everything that is real is in His mind. It is in my mind too, because He created it with me. Why should I continue to suffer from the effects of my own insane thoughts, when the perfection of creation is my home? Let me remember the power of my decision and recognize where I really abide. Yeah, this is what I shared with you. It's like, where am I truly? What is really going on here? That's what comes to you in every lesson. God did not create a meaningless world, but I'm seeing a meaningless world. So don't you want to know what God's world would look like? Don't you want to, say, return to that? The perfection of creation is my home. So why would I want to hold on to my insane thoughts? That makes sense, right? My thoughts are images that I have made. Whatever I see reflects my thoughts. It is my thoughts that tell me where I am and what I am. It is my thoughts that tell me where I am and what I am. The fact that I see a world in which there is suffering, loss and death shows me that I am seeing only the representation of my insane thoughts, and am not allowing my real thoughts to cast a beneficent light on what I see. Yet God's way is sure. The images I have made cannot prevail against Him, because it is not my will that I do so. My will is His, and I will place no other gods before Him. My thoughts are images that I have made. Whatever I see reflects my thoughts. So it is my thoughts that tell me where I am and what I am. In other words, I define myself by what I see. I place myself and I define myself. But that's not necessary. I was already, it's like I was created perfectly by God. So I've been putting a lot of energy and focus on the idea of what I want to be, how I want to see myself, where I want to place myself. I should go from location A to B, or I should become this and that. Like you're self-made. And the honest question, asking yourself, like, what does that actually give me? I know from myself, like, education was there. There was a family, there was this, there was that. Everything that I hoped for that would bring me the happiness that I was looking for. I wanted to have it from there because I thought it had to come from it. And then that failed. That wasn't bringing me happiness at all. No, I was in total fear. Now what? It's like this didn't happen, that give, like it does not happen, that it will be totally fulfilling what is occurring. Temporarily it can look like that, but that changes really quick. Suddenly you find yourself in, hitting bottom, feeling like, no, this isn't it either. I cannot do this any longer. I have to adjust myself so badly to this situation that it feels like a terrible sacrifice. I cannot hold it any longer. I cannot do this. Suddenly there's another way of looking at everything. But see, that was the necessity. I had to learn to look at everything in a different way. If I expect this world to make me complete, I can be here for a very long time, but it's not going to happen. So when I release my thoughts about this world, suddenly there's space for me to experience something else. I have no neutral thoughts. Neutral thoughts are impossible because all thoughts have power. They will either make a false world or lead me to the real one. But thoughts cannot be without effects. As the world I see arises from my thinking errors, so will the real world rise before my eyes as I let my errors be corrected. My thoughts cannot be neither true nor false. They must be one or the other. What I see shows me which they are. I see no neutral things. What I see witnesses to what I think. If I did not think, I would not exist because life is thought. Let me look on the world I see as the representation of my own state of mind. I know that my state of mind can change. And also, I also know the world I see can change as well. Okay, and so this is the last lesson that we're going to look at today. I'm not alone in experiencing the effects of my seeing. So today's my thoughts, but yesterday it was my seeing. If I have no private thoughts, I cannot see a private world. Even the mad idea of separation had to be shared before it could form the basis of the world I see. Yet that sharing was a sharing of nothing. I can also call upon my real thoughts, which share everything with everyone. As my thoughts of separation call to the separation thoughts of others, so my real thoughts awaken the real thoughts in them. And the world my real thoughts show me will dawn on their side as well as mine. I'm not alone in experiencing the effects of my seeing. I'm not alone in experiencing the effects of my seeing. Now, I'm not alone in experiencing the effects of my thoughts either. So I'm not alone in anything, really. So this is how you can say it too. It's like, if I come in touch with who I really am, I basically touch base with the love that I am and start to extend from there, because why would I want to go anywhere? So here in the lessons of A Course in Miracles, we're not really focusing on, for instance, the present moment yet. That will come. But it's like that's later in the program. But it's nice to refer to it, because it is like continuously, and this is over. I'm seeing only the past. That is still the same. I'm seeing what is not there. That's why it's meaningless. And what is full of meaning is this present moment. Like, that has nothing to do with your ideas about it or what you think you see, but it's there. Like, and it's your portal, you could say, your portal into timelessness, your portal into the real world, your portal into a world that is there for you to see with vision. Like coming into the experience of the world that lies beyond your limited perspective about the construct that you have made. Now here you have to give yourself a little, a little space to. It is like you have been using your visual imagining, like your visual cortex, or whatever you want to call it, like your visual receptivity, your visual perception. You have based your reality on that for a very, very long time. That's why this goes like, it needs constant repetition, a constant repetition. You forget about the unreality of this place very easily, and that's okay. So you have to give yourself the possibility to not attack yourself for that. No, that's not necessary. So it's like, that's why there's a mind training that really gives you, okay, just do this. That's the only thing you need to do. It is not about you trying to transform your mind into a Christ mind or something. Like, no, that will not work either. Everything that you try to do in that sense, to try to make of it, is not going to work. Your observations of yourself don't even give you the information that you would know how to adjust your mind. So this is all taken care of, in other words, sinking down. You can rest in that. You don't have to push yourself through this. No, this can be a happy learning moment. Imagine that you have a light program of education. Well, this is it. It's very light. Four times a day, not more than 4 times. Oh no, take it easy. Just relax. Do it the way that's instructed, that's all. But only a minute today. 4 times a minute, not more. So it's a very relaxed program that is effective. But it literally, this will help you to, in fact, release your you're so accustomed to your visual information. So this is really transforming that by your decision, of course, by you wanting it, by you letting the change occur. So these are important parts of the mind training to recognize, so that you know what is going on. Because otherwise, why are you doing the mind training? This is to come to vision, to come to a whole different way of seeing everything, like not seeing as you did in the world with sight, but with vision. Continuously, in fact, allowing a new state of mind. You come to the place where this state of mind is given in this present moment. This is where it brings you back to, like a different state of mind altogether. In that different state of mind, you're going to see a whole different world. You can imagine that, but it's like it goes beyond your imaginings even. So this I really wanted to share with you today, and that is the Neuralink part, recognizing that like the most advanced or whatever advanced research is still looking, in fact, in a place where you cannot see anything, where you can only see differences, even though it can be helpful temporarily, sure, but it's not going to bring you in that sense any further in recognizing who you truly are. In fact, it is also included. Like if you look back at how this is happening to you, you see that you have tried all kinds of things. In the Course it says somewhere, your will is your master. So what you want will bring you closer to the end of time, because if it isn't real, it will fail. And that will help you to see that that isn't it. So in slow time, as you find yourself as a human being, you try many things to come to your happiness. You earn tons of money, or you have your third house, or you have another boat, or you buy yourself an island, or you do whatever you want. You go with a rocket to Mars, or whatever it is. Like you try. So that's also included in the total undoing of what isn't, because it is inevitable that you're going to wake up. It's a required course. So your denial works just as well as the acceptance of it. I mean this, like you will find out by going through a lesson, oh my God, this isn't it. Whether that's a life lesson or whether that's a lesson from A Course in Miracles, in which you discover your new experience of yourself just by doing the lessons, just by sitting in your chair, by doing the exercises, taking that with you wherever you go, having that present with you, and seeing that your whole world is changing, that you have a whole different vision that is developing, where you recognize the continuous, immediate communication that is taking place, because minds are joined. You're not separate. The whole universe is right here. You are that. You're a total part of it. All right. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for joining today. I hope to see you maybe on Wednesday with the Master Teacher video. We're going to watch a part of this also in the Master Teacher video. I mean the same lessons, I think 8 to 15 or 15 to 21 or something like this. But yeah. So I hope to see you on Wednesday, and otherwise I'll see you next week in the next episode of the Quantum Enlightenment. Thank you for everything, and see you soon.